Folks, this is problem number 2 of homework number 2. And the plan is to create this assembly made of 3 parts: the wall, spinning disc, and the rod, uh, applying assembly constraints. Later on in the course, we will be animating this thing, and although we will be giving a certain angular speed of the disc, spinning disc, and this pin will make the rod tilt back and forth. Is a mechanism. Okay, but right now it's just the making of the part. Dimensions are left to you, so I'm gonna use whatever I think is gonna lead to something of that roughly size. Uh, Let me call this thing right-click properties, and I'll call this thing spinning disk, or let me call it uh, uh, return mechanism. Return mechanism. Okay, notice that the name changes. Immediately I save this thing. File, save management. Saving of these things is so critical in the right spot, the way you want it. I'm going to create a folder here. Call it homework 2, problem 2. So everything is going to go in there. All the assembly and all the parts that are going to be made. Notice that one strategy could also be that you make all these things and then do a file save management, but I prefer the way I'm doing it. So insert a new part in there, and I'm going to call this thing a wall properties. Okay, so this is the part name, wall, and this is the instance name, wall. And I'm going to make it. So double click on this line. It's going to put you in part design. So on that vertical plane, I will sketch basically a rectangle with a little circle at the bottom of it. So something like this. Yeah, I'll do it. Okay. And then over here, I'll make a little circle because I want to turn that thing into a pin. Of course, I will do a multi-pad. Okay. Exit and then do a multi-pad. If I do a pad, there will be a hole down there, which I don't want to. Okay. So this one is going to be the big rectangle. Let's make this thing 0.1. If needed, we're going to change, or 0.2. Let's see how it looks like. Yeah, that's good. And this one obviously is going to be more than 0.2. We'll make it 0.4. There. Okay. All right. If you want to make changes, maybe make this thing a little bit longer. Let me do that. Multiply. I'll make this thing instead of 0.4, 0.6. Okay, good. All the way to the top, click on the floppy. It's going to save that. And then I'm going to insert my other one. Insert. I'll do the disk next. Insert a new part. Oh, you know what? I also needed a hole up there and a pin up there. So let me go back there. Let me go back there, back to that sketch. I'll draw a circle, another circle here. Okay. Exit. Oh, what happened? Oh, yeah. Hang in there. Something. Okay. This. Is this one? Nope. That one. Something. That's this hole. So make it also 0.6. Something went crazy with the rectangle. Just a rectangle. Yeah. So I'll make this thing point. I think I made it 0.2 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. All the way to the top. Click on the flop. All right. Now we're going to insert, How about the disk? New part, call it spinning disk or a disk. I think in the problem statement I called it spinning disk, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so to get to the disk, double click on that. You know what? Actually, let me maximize this thing for now. All right. So on that plane, I will sketch a circle that size, but the easiest way of doing that is just project the circle. It's going to be there. You can see that. And then add the other piece to it. So what do I mean by that? Normal view here. Draw another circle. Concentric with that. This is going to be the disk. Now, if I'm not sure that this is concentric with that, I can select them and make it concentric, but I can see that they are concentric, I think. So this control that. Oops, where's the control? You see that? It's already concentric. There's nothing to cancel out. Okay. I want this thing to be a hole and a little pin to be there. So let me draw a little circle here. This is going to be the pin that's going to go into that rod. Okay. So once again, exit and multipath. Where's the exit? Exit and do a multipath. Three curves. This is the little hole here. Let me start with the big one. This is the big circle. I'll make that thing maybe 0.2 also. Okay. This one is that little pin over there. I'll make it 0.5 so that you can see it, or 0.6 so that you can see it. And this one, the hole there, so we leave it at 0. Say fine. So if I hide that, if I hide this wall, this is what I made. Control Z brings it back. Okay. So the rod is gonna go on this, and that's gonna be in it. Okay. All the way to the top. Click on the floppy. Okay, so I'm going to insert a new part in there. And I think I call this thing the rod. Let's see now, right click properties, rod, and rod. Say okay. And let's go make it. Different ways of doing it. So for example, I can do on this plane, I will sketch. Why don't I project two things? Project the circle and project, actually not that circle, project this circle. I mean, where is that? Project the circle. These are too much of a hassle. You can just go and draw a circle if you want. There we are. Incidentally, yellow means that this is, they cannot change this thing projected. If you want to change the sizes and things like that, you have to isolate it. But I'm not going to do that. Okay, now the rest of the rod, I'm going to do it like this. How about doing a, what is that? The elongated hole. So I'm going to draw, uh, like that. Okay. And then in here, I want a pathway. So let me see, maybe I'll make this thing a little bit longer. Yeah. And as I said, the different ways of doing it. One other way of doing it, do another elongated hole here. Okay, good. Exit and pad it. Make this thing point, actually, when I pat it, let me do it up to this plane. Let me see, up to this plane, okay. Up to this plane. It makes my job easier. Good. That good? Okay. Now, you might say, well, wait a minute, this is supposed to tight fit there snugly, so no problem. What I'm going to do is the following. I'm going to measure the diameter of that circle. The measuring tool, I think I uh, closed it, but I don't know what the name of it is. So I can go to that sketch, of course, find out where it is, but I'd rather do it like that. So view, toolbars, measure. Uh, see measure there? Oh, right there, right there. So I'm going to measure the diameter of that. It says radius 0.142, right? Point 0.142. So we say, okay, let's go back to that sketch that we drew, this last sketch, and make this thing 0.142. Double that, 0.142, or just the radius? Or, yeah, that's the radius, 0.142. 0.142. If psychologically that makes it easier for you to digest that this is going to go in there. All right, so that's pretty good. Let's do all the way to the top. Save everything. Floppy. Let's fix the base. The base is fixed. I'm going to move these apart so that we know what's going on here. So let me move this thing in the YZ plane. Where's the YZ plane? Yeah, okay, so like that, like this. Let me say okay. All right. Now, fix that. Fix the wall. Okay. And let's put this disk inside of that. Coincidence between this axis and this axis. And coincidence between, how about this plane and the back plane of that? And update. That's the way it should be. Let's put this thing in there. Coincidence between this axis. Uh, yeah, let me do, let me do, we may have to move things around. This axis and that axis. Update. Okay, good. Now let me see now. All right, that's good. How about this plane and that plane, or maybe this plane and this plane, this plane and this plane. Of course, it's already there. There's nothing to update. Now I'm going to put this hole, this pin inside of that hole. And there are different ways of doing it. Let me suggest the following. Use contact. See that? Contact. Select that face, that round face. You see this? And this face. And if things don't work out, we go internal to external. So let's update. Did it work? Nope. Nope. You see that? You go external, update. That looks a lot more civilized. All right, so all the way to the top. Yeah, all the way to the top. Save everything. And let's check our assembly constraints. I'm going to move things apart. For example, let me move it like that. Move it like this. And update. That looks good. Now, let me check things a little bit differently. Click on this. Make sure that this box is checked. And I'm going to rotate the rod about this axis. I'm going to rotate it about that axis. Yeah, this axis. So let's see how it looks. It looks now. You see this? See the disc turning? Now, if you say that, "Oh, I don't see the disc turning," I say, no problem. Let's go back to the disc. There's the disc. There's a disc. On it, I draw a little circle and pocket it so you can actually see that it's turning. So on that disc, draw a little circle here. Maybe how about making a rectangle? It doesn't matter. Exit, because I just want a marker there. And why don't I make a little pocket out of that? Yeah, fine. Good. Now let's go back to the assembly and do exactly what I was doing. In other words, click on the move, manipulate. This box is checked. Rotate about that axis. Yeah, that axis is fine. And grab the rod and turn it. You see that? It is turning. All right, very good. That takes care of this tutorial. Incidentally, you may want to change the color of these things if you like. Right-click properties on the graphics. Change the color. I don't know, maybe pink, something like that. Anyway, save it. Now you're good.